Russian Geran-2 drones have begun to be equipped with R-60 air-to-air missiles, Ukrainian media reports. The new Russian weapon is believed to be designed to target Ukrainian helicopters and fighter jets. According to Ukrainian reports, today marked the first combat use of Geran missiles with R-60 missiles under their wings. An R-60 missile weighs approximately 45 kilograms, while a standard Geran warhead weighs up to 90 kilograms. As proof, Ukrainian bloggers are publishing photographs of the Geran's wreckage, which indeed show a missile on the drone's wing. However, it's unclear how long ago these photos were taken. Russia has not yet officially commented on the UAV's upgrade. But if the deployment of R-60 missiles occurs, then, taking into account the automation and control capabilities of the Geranium, they may well begin hunting for fighters and helicopters of the Ukrainian armed forces, comments the analytical Telegram channel Military Chronicle. Amid renewed rumors of a fixed agreement in Ukraine, a new wave of airstrikes occurred on November 28th and 29th. The Russian army targeted military targets across virtually the entire territory of the neighboring state. Nearly 50 drones, aerial bombs, and missiles were deployed. Energy facilities, railway junctions, warehouses, logistics hubs, deployment points, and air defense facilities of the Ukrainian armed forces were targeted, according to Sergei Lebedev, coordinator of the Mykolaiv Underground. The Gonzo Telegram channel, citing local media and monitoring channels, reported that during the massive attack on Kiev, at one point 150 air targets, including drones, Geranium, Harpy, Gerber, and Shahid, and missiles, were simultaneously moving toward the capital. Our army used approximately 38 Kh-101 Iskander-K missiles, 7 Kinzhal missiles from 7 MiG, 31K fighters, and 6 Iskander-M missiles. The exact mode of operation of the air-to-air missile-armed Shahid-136 is currently unknown, but it is a near certainty that it leverages a man-in-the-loop (MITL) control capability that Russia has implemented on some of these drones. Versions of the Shahid-136 with cameras and cellular modems first began appearing in early 2024, which strongly pointed to MITL control for shorter-range operations, as TWZ explored in detail at the time. A line-of-sight data link would be used to connect the drone to an operator, with cellular networks offering additional connectivity when available. Airborne signal relays could help extend the range at which MITL missions could be conducted. Mounting the R-60 right at the nose of the Shahid-136 would help with target acquisition and engagement, with the operator having to point the drone directly at the target. The missile could then be fired after a signal has been sent that indicates a lock-on has been achieved. At the same time, even newer versions of the R-60 still have limited all-aspect engagement capability. The Shahid-136 is also a slow and not especially maneuverable launch platform that was not designed with air-to-air combat in mind. How mounting the R-60 on the drone further impacts its maneuverability and overall stability is unknown. It's also unclear how the drones would find aerial threats in the first place. It's possible their operators could be cued or otherwise directed by information from offboard assets, or simply operate in a purely reactive mode to Ukrainian intercept attempts while also searching for targets of opportunity. Countering such operator-controlled Shahids is even more challenging, as they are piloted in real time, allowing the operator to react to the current situation and even attempt to engage our aircraft or helicopters in the air. Lieutenant Colonel Yuri Marinenko, Ukrainian Deputy Minister of Defense for Innovation, had notably told Business Insider for a story published just last week. It's not just cutting reaction time for defenders, it is creating a whole new set of headaches. Business Insider's piece did not elaborate on how Russian Shahids were attempting to hunt their hunters. In addition to the newly emerged R-60 armed version, operators could also try to just steer the one-way attackers into Ukrainian aircraft directly. Even relatively small kamikaze drones already present a notable risk to lower and slower-flying helicopters, which also have more limited maneuverability compared to faster-flying tactical jets. Ukraine regularly uses Mi-8/Mi-17 HIP series armed transport helicopters, as well as Mi-24 Hind series gunships, along with fixed-wing aircraft on counter-drone patrols. There is already a general precedent for arming drones with air-to-air missiles and the deterrent effect that doing so can have. In at least one instance in 2002, a U.S. Air Force MQ-1 Predator drone fired a Stinger heat-seeking anti-air missile at an Iraqi MiG-25 Foxbat fighter that was trying to shoot it down. Iraqi forces had been increasingly harassing American Predators patrolling no-fly zones over parts of that country in the lead-up to the U.S.-led invasion in 2003, which had prompted the integration of Stingers onto them in the first place. Though the Foxbat survived the 2002 encounter, the Iraqis reportedly made no further attempts to down U.S. drones. Russia modifying Shahid 130 SIXS to carry R-60s reflects a similar deterrent playbook, even though how credible a threat this combination presents is not currently known. Ukrainian fixed-wing aircraft and helicopters play key roles in helping to blunt attacks involving these drones, and would have no way of knowing in advance whether their targets are toting air-to-air missiles. Shahid 130 SIXS in the new anti-air configuration could be employed more independently, especially behind the front lines to help deter pop-up attacks by the Ukrainian Air Force, as well as layered in with other versions as part of larger strikes. Whether the integration of the R-60 onto the Shahid 136 might be a stepping stone to Russia adding other anti-air capabilities to those drones also remains to be seen. As mentioned earlier, the R-60's form factor presents benefits when it comes to integration onto uncrewed aircraft. The R-60 armed Shahid 136 further underscores Russia's broader efforts to evolve and expand on the original design, which is Iranian in origin. Multiple variants and derivatives of the Shahid 136, including a jet-powered type, are now produced in large numbers in Russian factories. They are known locally by the name Geranium, the Russian word for geranium. A degree of autonomous dynamic targeting capability, fueled in part by the steady proliferation of advances in artificial intelligence and machine learning, may also be on the horizon for the drones, if it has not been implemented already, to at least a limited degree. Only time will tell how long it might be before a Russian Shahid 136 might attempt to engage a Ukrainian fixed-wing aircraft or helicopter with an R-60, which would increase the credibility of the threat. Regardless, the prospect that any Russian Shahid 136 might now be armed with an air-to-air missile presents an additional risk factor that Ukrainian forces will have to take into account.